which brings me back to the political correct police, which is, I think, how I got on this little rant here that I'm on. Also, with Saturday Night Live, this weekend, a comedian, talented comedian, Aziz Ansari, I think that's the way you pronounce his name, and I'm not being sarcastic. Aziz Ansari, the comedian, everybody knows him. He did his monologue, he's real outspoken. He likes to be provocative. He said, he said Donald Trump is basically the Chris Brown of politics. And Make America Great Again is his These Hoes Ain't Loyal. And Chris Brown, who obviously has had his troubles, he beat up Rihanna, who I'm sure he regrets it the most. Okay? If somebody does something bad, he's had his trouble. This kid's suffering and all this shit. But Aziz Ansari, who the fuck do you think you are? Why are you dragging him through the mud? Who are you to talk about him? So then Chris Brown said, tell Aladdin to get off my dick.
Yeah, I like that comeback.
I like that too. And then they'll be like, ooh, that's racially insensitive. Yo, you popping shit, I'm going to pop shit back. Now, this is the thing. Again, obviously nobody supports beating women, okay? This guy has obviously suffered. You see all the trouble he has and all the trouble that surrounds him. He's definitely, dealing with some shit and dealing with his own personal demons. But Aziz Ansari, you are one of these holier than thou, politically correct police. This little fuck, Mr. Racial, he's like Mr. Provocative. He's like, oh, the brown people this. And on the show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's always talking about the brown people. And I get that. He tries to be racially provocative. He is racially provocative. It's good. And, there's, I think I'm pretty sure he's Indian, and he's, that's a large population, and he's brought that voice into the main culture, and all that shit is good. And I said this once, and I say it again. If you watch his show, Masters of None, and maybe in the second season, this show on Netflix, which is highly touted, maybe in the second season, they might have changed it up. And I know if they changed it up, they heard the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Aziz Ansari, Mr. Brown person, Mr. Race.
Mr. Brown.
No, that's what he always says. He refers to himself as that. I'm just copying what he says.
Oh.
Mr. fucking racially provocative, Mr. fucking, button pusher, politically correct judger, has never seen a white girl he hasn't liked. This guy, every single girl on his show that he's with, white girls.
Where the
you
Indians
never
at?
saw a white girl you didn't like, did you, Mr. Brown guy?
Where's the Indians at?
Where they at?
Right. Mr. Brown. Where's Mr.
Brown? Mr. Racially, the racial coalition. Mr. Judging Chris Brown. Now, when Chris Brown sees you, who's about 6'4", and you're about 5'6", and he punches you in your face or drop kicks you in your forehead, then you're going to be upset.
Right.
Then you're going to be upset. You're wearing your little tight suits and all that. Mister, I never saw a white girl I didn't like.
Where are the Indian girls? There's some bad ones out there.
No, he's not doing that on his show. It's only white girls.
Oh, he don't want no Indians. He don't want Mrs.
No, but
Brown.
He wants to point fingers about all the racial injustices on TV and this show this and that show that. Fuck you, you little politically correct. Fuck you. I'm not saying he's not funny. I'm not saying he's not talented. And I'm not saying his voice isn't warranted. But you are not holier than thou. These people, they get a forum and a platform, and they get this fame, and they think that their shit doesn't stink. The point of it is, Aziz Ansari, if I were you, I'd keep Chris Brown's name out your mouth.
Yeah, where them Indian girls at, man? Put them on the show.
Put them on the show.
I'm an Indian feminist. I'm an Indian woman feminist. I want to see more Indian women on that fucking show.
Yeah, why all you doing is chasing these little white girls on your show?
Word. You get to America, that's all you want.
That's it, you little fucking sicko. That guy never seen a white girl he didn't like. Boy, oh boy, man.
Yeah. Anyone.
Oh, no, he loves them. He loves them, except for Zoe Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz's daughter. That's like because like she's light skinned, she's kind of cool, she's black. That she's like the sort of like for a guy like that, like that's like the dream girl. Like he's like, oh, it's black. Zoe Kravitz. Shout out to Zoe Kravitz. I love her.
Word.
Yo, and the final thing I'm gonna say about Aziz Ansari is this: you go up on Saturday Night Live, you as a brown person, as a person of color. And what's your big punchline to your joke? Shitting on another person of color. Shitting on a black dude in front of an all-white audience. Because there's barely any black people in the live audience at Saturday Night Live. I've been there. They show it on TV. So you're some sucker shit. You go up on there as a brown man, and you're trying to make points, and you're racially this. And what do? You do the most sucker shit, and you insult another brown man. You're a fucking clown, you're a hypocrite, and you're holier than thou. Get off your fucking high horse, you politically correct little prick.